All right, folks, Chris Clark here. Now we're going to talk about how to run handicaps. We run handicaps every week on Sundays. We're always looking for volunteers to help run handicaps. This is going to be a little tutorial on how to make that happen. All right, so we'll go over first things you need. Then we're going to talk about how you run it and how you do the payouts and go from there. All right, first thing you need is cash. You need to bring $20 to $30 in small change. Ideally, I like $20 in ones and $10 in fives. Ideal. So you need some change. Secondly, you're going to need old scorecards. These are we rip scorecards in half after the event and we turn them into, these little things are great for CTPs. You write the CTP whole number on the back, and then you're going to need some flags. 8 to 10 of these is recommended. You put this little rascal on the flag and you send it out to the hole, and now you've got CTPs. You're going to need a score sheet. Score sheet goes up to 20 players. This is one I created, I don't know, a year or so ago. It's been working pretty well. We might make some changes to it if we have some comments. But anyway, as the players come in, they're going to check in with their name. If they have a bag tag, they're going to give you the bag tag, and you're going to write the number down, put their name. You're going to decide what they pay in on. They're going to, if they're establishing, you have to establish 2 rounds from the same course on the same tee pads to be able to play handicaps and pay in. So if they're establishing, we would write establishing and they wouldn't pay. If they're playing for the first, if they've already established and they're playing, then you're going to put a check and you're going to take their $4. Then you're going to take up to $2 for CTP, ace, $1 for ace, $1 for trifecta, $1 bogey free, and $1 for dirty money. And you're going to write over here the total amount they paid. And I'll have to come to that back in a minute. Then you're going to do that for everybody. You're going to, again, your challenge tag, their name, and then what they're paying in for. Any and everything is optional except the entry. If they're established, they have to pay. If they're not established, they don't pay. As you get closer, and it gets closer time to the players, closer time to kicking off, you're going to need to know the players' handicaps. So I post these things every time we have run handicaps. I post these online. You can print them out, or you can just pull them up on the Facebook page. So you're going to roll down here. You're going to find the person's name. You're going to roll across. 1 score means they're establishing. 1 score means they're establishing. 2 or more scores means they've already established and have a handicap. And that's a horrible example. That person's got 2 scores and no handicap, so my spreadsheet's got an issue. So we'll come down here. 2 scores established. You come over here and it tells you that they're established with a 71. So what you're going to do is you're going to come right back by their name, and you're going to put that 71 where it says handicap. So you're going to go by each and every person's name. You're going to look on that spreadsheet, find out their handicap, and you're going to write their handicap right here in the handicap column. That's important. That's the way. That's how handicaps work. So everybody, and you're going to write the 71. Don't worry. There's also to tell you they're over under. It might, so a 71 would say, or I'm sorry, a 71 would be negative 17. We don't write the negative 17. Write the 71. It's much easier. At the end of the round, you're going to put their score in the raw. And so if they recorded a 71, you're going to write their score over here. And they recorded 70. Then they're adjusted. They would have a -1 on the day. If their handicap is 71 and they shoot a 72, they'd have a +1 on the day. So it's just simple math. Take the handicap minus the raw, and you end up with the number, negative or positive. So again, record all the names, what they're paying in for. At the bottom of all this, I've got little charts where you can total all the columns up. This is real helpful to make sure you've taken in the right amount of money. You can record CTPs. CTPs, if you watch the doubles videos, the same way. CTPs should be a value between $8, $10, $12. So you just want to look how much money you're taking in CTPs. If you're taking in 15 players paid in, that's $30. 3 CTPs, $10 a piece. If you took in $24, you can do 3 at $8 a piece. You've got some flexibility in how you want to handle it. Sometimes people donate stuff. You can add that as a separate whole, no dollar amount, just a prize. Then, once you've done all that, you're going to need to look at that. Once you've got all the players entered, you've got all the CTPs established. You can assign the CTPs to certain holes. It's best, and you can write those holes on your little card. So CTP hole number 1, you put it on the flag. It's ready to go. Put all the flags out. You get all the handicaps laid out, or all the people on here. Then what we do is we take and we order the cards by the lowest handicap number. So you've got a person who's got a handicap of 50. They're the lowest handicap there today. They're going to be the first person on the first card. Then the person with a 52 would be next. Pair of 53s would be next. 54 would be the first person on the next card. You want to try to keep the cards to 4 people or less. Ideally, the first card should be 4 players. After that, you can get flexible and do 3 cards up to 5. Preferably nothing more than 4. Absolutely nothing less than 3. You need to have at least 3 players on a card. So you assign all the cards, and you basically tell them which hole they're starting on. You need to figure out which CTPs holes you have as well. So as you send players out to their holes, you need to send them with the CTP flags they're putting down. So hole 1's going to take hole 1 and 2. Somebody starting on hole 8 would take CTPs 8, 9, 10. Somebody starting on hole 11 would take anything, 11 and 12. You also need to let them know which ones they're picking up. So the player starting on hole 1 would pick up a CTP on, say, 17 or 18. Somebody starting on 10 would pick up one on 9 or 8. So you need to let them know which ones are taking with them and which ones are picking up. So now we're also, at the same time, we're also managing the round. We're not doing scorecards. We're handling it through UDisc. So the UDisc event will be set up. Players can be registered in the event 2 ways. They can either go on to the event page the day of the event on the app, click on the event, and check themselves in. Now they still have to check in here and pay you. So right before you decide who's going on what card, you need to go on the app, verify that everybody logged into the event has paid and is on this sheet, and that everybody on this sheet is logged into the app. 15 players here, 15 players there. They should all match. As you tell them which holes they go to, and you send them out with their CTP flags, they will be responsible when they get to the hole to set the starting hole and to put the players on their card. So they'll have to go. One player will have to go on the app, tell what hole he choose the event, say what hole they're starting on, choose the 4 players, the 3 other players that are on their card, and then they will start. And every card will do the same thing. So you don't have to write scorecards. They will make their own scorecards when they get to the hole. You just let them know which hole they go to. They're responsible for handling the scorecards. Okay, as they come back in, you're going to have to figure out some other things. So based on the number of established players, so you come down here, and I've got a line for number of players established. So 15 people played, but only 9 were established. So you put 15 here, you put 9 here. Then you come over to your scoring sheet, and you look for the number of established players. So there's 9 established players. We're going to pay bad eyes. We're going to pay $13, $8, and $4. First, second, and third place. And low raw is going to end up with $6, and we end up paying out $31 paid out you took in $36, you should have $5 left over. I got to move that on the screen. So anyway, you look at the number of established players, and it'll tell you exactly how much to pay out for first through fifth place and how much to pay out for low raw. At which point you can come right back on the sheet and you can fill all that information in. You've put in the number of players, the number of established players. You've got all your CTP dollar amounts filled in and what holes they are. And then as they come back in, you can look on the score sheets, find out if there's anybody hit a trifecta, 3 birdies in a row. If they hit 4 birdies in a row, that's a quad. It has to be consecutive. So a player starting on hole 1 could get a trifecta for holes 1, 2, and 3, but they could not get a trifecta for holes 17, 18, and 1. They started on 1. They can't get 17, 18, 1. They can only get the ones they played consecutively. So 1, 2, 3, 16, 17, 18, but not 17, 18, 1. Now, if you started on hole 15 and you hit 17, 18, and 1, that would be a trifecta for you. So anyway, so you record all the names of everybody who got a trifecta. If they've got a quad, you just make a note that, Chris Clark +1 or Chris Clark +2 because I got 5 holes in a row. And then you can say how much money you paid for that person on the trifecta. It's $10 for the first 3, $5 for every additional hole after that. So 3 in a row is $10, 4 in a row is $15. Anybody shoots bogey free, there's a spot to write their name for bogey free. Bogey free is a fun payout, which means it's based on how much money's in the pot. Bogeys, aces, dirty money aces, you're going to need to contact one of the board of directors to then they'll let you know how much money's in there, how much money they'll be paid. You likely won't be able to pay them out that day because you're not going to have enough money in your pot to pay for that. So that they'll just have to wait till the next available banking day and we'll take care of it. You're going to write down how much dirty money you took in. We pay out half the dirty money for closest to the pin. So if you take in $20 in dirty money, you're going to pay out $10. If you take in $19 in dirty money, you're going to pay out $10. We always round up and pay out. The rest of that money will go back to the pot for somebody to ace it. So as the card starts coming back in, you write the raw score, you do the math over here, how many over or under they are. The way handicaps works is we cap it at 5. So a person shooting whose handicap is 65, who shoots a 60, would have a -5 in the adjusted. That's maximum. That's what we call cap. Now, a person who has a 65 handicap and who shot a 58 would have a -7 in the adjusted column. Theirs capped as well. So one person had a -5, the other had a -7. They're both tied for first place at this point because they both hit cap. -5 is cap. So anybody 5 or over, or -5 or beyond, is capped. You keep writing all the adjusted. You come back, and if you have 3 players capped at -5, you send them out for a playoff. Then it's closest to the pin, 1 throw on hole 1, something easy, something quick. Then you come down here and you do whoever got first, second, third based off the tiebreaker would fill in the blanks. No tiebreakers, you just fill in the blanks. So the biggest differential here is winning, but at 5 it gets capped. So okay, caps is more complicated than anything else. But so now you have your winners based on the adjustments and your caps and any tiebreakers you need to. You put them in here. You know exactly how much to pay them. The lowest score of the day is the low raw, not that's not based on handicaps. So a player shooting a 50 and beating their handicap by 1 versus a player shooting 60 and beating their handicap by 6. The person who shot the 50 is the low raw. That payout is on that payout chart. If you have 2 people tied for low raw, they can split the money. If it's a odd dollar amount, round it up, add another $1, split it. We don't do quarters or change. It's all even numbers. The chart's got a whole lot of things you can fill out. So you can add up all the totals, how much you paid out, you put it down here. You can add up all the CTPs, money you took in and out, and you can put it down here. All the trifecta money you took in and out, and you can put it down here. And why all that's helpful, because I have to go back and put it in a chart, or somebody on the board has to go back and put it on a chart, because we keep a track of how much money we have in trifecta, how much money we have in bogey free, short pad ace, dirty money ace, long pad ace. So we keep track of all that. So last thing you need to do is challenge tags. Challenge tags. This was a little bit more complicated, but now it's gotten quite easy. So the easiest way to do it is go on the UDisc app, sort them by score, and the top person on the list gets the lowest tag, assuming they turn in a tag. So you had 15 players play, 9 were established, 7 players had tags. So you just start at the top of the UDisc app, and as soon as you get to a player who turned in a tag, you give them the lowest tag. If you come to a point where the 2 players tied, then the person bringing the lowest tag in that day gets the lower of the tags. So I tie with another player. I brought in a 5 tag. He brought in a 10 tag. When the tags come back out, say we're in contention for the number 20 and the number 21 tag, I would get the 20, he would get the 21, because I brought the lower tag in the day, so I lead with the lower tag. You have to outright beat somebody to come in with a higher tag. So then the way this makes more sense is the 1 and 2 tags show up, and the 1 and 2 tag holders tie. The number 1 guy keeps his tag. The number 2 guy would not win his tag. He has to beat him. Tags do not, tiebreakers in handicaps, tiebreakers for handicaps had nothing to do with tags. Tags are based on lowest score and lowest tag in and out for tiebreakers. So it's the easiest way to do it is put all the tags in order on the table. Look at the UDisc app. Call out the names. If they had a tag, give them the next tag in line as you go down through the scores. So I think that's it. So you know how much money to pay out based on every player. You know how much money to pay out on CTPs. You know how much money to pay out on trifectas. If someone hits bogey free, you can get with one of us. We can tell you how much to pay out. If you have enough money, you can pay it out as well. If not, we will get with them immediately, the next day or two, and pay them out. If someone hits an ace or a dirty money ace, again, you can get with one of us. We'll let you know how much money would pay that person. And if you don't have the money on hand, we will meet up with them the next day or two to pay them out. Yeah, I think that's all for handicaps. Thank you.